Hey guys, we are starting Roots Week 3, Day 1 today. Today's passage is Genesis 2, verses 4, all the way through the end of Genesis 2. Here's what I want you to do. That's a pretty long chunk for me to read out loud on this. I'm going to read just one verse and explain sort of the general context and everything so you can follow what I'm doing. I want you to pause this video and go read Genesis 2, verse 4, all the way down through verse 25. It should take you less than 5 minutes. Read it, come back, and watch the rest of this. So here's the verse that I want to focus on today. It says, this is the creation account, volume 2. So this is sort of like just same story, different angle, talking about God creating Adam, or creating the man in some translations. So God makes Adam and he puts him in Eden. There's all this wonderful stuff in Eden. Everything's really great. It says that he was created to work the ground, to grow the garden, to rule over it, essentially, is what he's there to do. But God makes this statement after he makes Adam in verses 18. It says, "Then the Lord God said, 'It is not good for the man to be alone. I will make a helper corresponding to him.'" Now, a lot of times this gets talked about in the context of marriage, so God makes Adam a wife, God makes Eve, and that's the thing. And it is true, this is about, in some ways, this is about marriage, but it's also about the fact that we need other people. It is not good for us to be alone. Now, I could have said that, 2 months ago, and it would have felt some kind of way. It's a little bit different now because a lot of us, we are kind of alone at the moment. We have our families, sure, and that's good and wonderful and all that sort of thing. But it's weird not being a part of, or at least not feeling like we're a part of a larger community right now. We're not connected to our church. We're not connected to our school right now. I imagine that a lot of us are really lonely at the moment. I know that I've struggled with that a little bit, and I'm very introverted myself. But even for me, I've struggled just feeling lonely sometimes. I want to see my friends. I want to go see people beyond my immediate family. I want to do that because it's not good for us to be alone. When God made Eve, I don't think it was just like, I'm just going to give you a wife, but also it was the idea that they were supposed to multiply. They're supposed to make other people so that there would be other people, so there could be a community. God wanted there to be lots of people around. That was God's will, was for us to be in harmony, not just with Him, but with other people. But as it is, here you and I are, and we are in quarantine, we're in lockdown, we're cut off. So now what? Well, I think that we need to just sort of be honest about our situation. A lot of people are sort of trying, and they do this with good intent. They're trying to be optimistic, and they're trying to point out what's good that's coming out of it. Well, some things are good. Churches are live streaming, all kinds of people are hearing the word, and all that stuff is really good. I'm not knocking that at all, but it doesn't do justice to the fact that we really have lost something that's important, that's worth mourning over, that's worth being upset about. We've lost the ability to meet with each other, to be with each other, and that's worth grieving over, because I think God grieves over that, because God created us to be together, to be in harmony with each other. Sometimes people mess up, and we believe that verse in Romans 8:28 where it says that all things work together for the good of those that love God. What that does not say is that all things are good. And sometimes what happens is we say, oh, well, this is actually a good thing. It's not actually a good thing. God is doing good things in spite of a bad thing. He's using a bad thing to accomplish other good things, yes. But the virus itself is not actually a good thing. And I think it's okay for us to just lament, to be upset, to grieve over the fact that this pandemic has taken place, that we're in lockdown, and that we're cut off from each other. Yet as we grieve over that, we always remember that as Christians, we don't grieve as people who have no hope. God will bring us together again. This will not last forever. There is always hope. If Jesus is alive, as long as Jesus is alive, there will always be hope. So we can cling to that. It's going to be rough for the next little while, but soon enough, God's going to deliver us from this, and He's going to bring us together again.